So a bit of backstory, I was lucky enough to find a Nintendo Switch the day after it came out for a normal price in a bookstore of all places. So I've had it for about 5 months now to really get a feel for the system and figure out some of its pros and cons. Overall, the Switch is a really nice system, but if you saw my video about my thoughts on the new 2DS XL, I was a little upset with the Switch's portability when compared to a system like the DS. Years ago, when I was still in elementary school, I had a DS Lite that I loved for its easy portability and resistance to scratches. Because the device folded, I never had to worry about the screen cracking and could easily slip into my pocket or leave it on a table without worrying about it being damaged. So I discussed in that video how although I love how powerful the Switch is for a portable system, it's a little too large and fragile for me to feel comfortable taking around. I have a case for it, but it's also pretty big and discourages me from taking it most places. Even with that being said, I mentioned that I would never sell my Switch in favor of a DS system, but if I ever had the money for it, I might purchase one in addition to the Switch so I could tap into the 3DS's deep game library and have an all-around more travel-friendly system. So for the past month, I've been looking for used 3DS systems on eBay to see if I could find an affordable deal. I was debating whether I should pay $150 for a new 2DS XL or spend a bit less on a used 3DS XL. I didn't think the 3D feature really mattered to me, so if I couldn't find any good deals, I might have just opted for the new 2DS XL, which came out a week and a half ago. After a lot of searching and holding off on poor deals, I found a local seller on Craigslist that was selling a used new 3DS XL with a few games for $100, so I met up with him and bought it. The 3 games it came with weren't games I would buy if I didn't have them, but still games I will play since I do. I'm not a huge Pokemon fan, but it came with Pokemon Sun, which I might try as I heard it was pretty good. It also came with a title called Harvest Moon and Resident Evil Revelations. So far I've only tried the Harvest Moon game, but I'll discuss my thoughts on that a bit later. The 3DS was technically used, but it's in great condition. There are no scratches I've seen on the screens or even the casing. It's a nice red color too, which I like a lot more than I thought I would. In fact, I think I like the red more than I would white, black, or galaxy. With that being said, I was a bit worried of what I would think of the system. I was afraid I'd be so used to high resolution screens that 240p would be impossible for me to get used to. But I have to say, just about everything on the new 3DS XL is impressive, and so far I love the system. I don't even know where to start, so how about the feature that's literally in the name of the system, 3D. So majority of people I've heard talk about the console say the 3D is pretty gimmicky, and they usually just play with it turned off. I've played the 3DS before, whether with a friend's system or in the display at a store, and I've always agreed with those people. The 3D to me seemed like a neat addition, but overall not really worth the extra $30 or so over the new 2DS XL. But having the actual console and getting to control the 3D in a more relaxed position completely changes it for me. To my surprise, the no glasses 3D on the system is incredible, and for many of the games I love always having it on. From my limited experience so far, it doesn't strain my eyes too heavily, so I love the different depth effects when playing games such as Super Smash Bros. With the exception of a couple games that don't utilize it well like Harvest Moon, I like to have the 3D on for everything, even browsing the menus. It's a feature just cool enough that I'd be willing to pay an extra $15 more for it than the new 2DS XL, but not quite cool enough to pay, let's say, $30 more. I'm overall pretty impressed with the 3D feature, and I'm excited to see how it plays into other games. So right now the only games I have for the 3DS are Pokemon Sun, Harvest Moon, and Resident Evil, but I was pleased to find out that there are a ton of demos available for games that I'm actually interested in. There's a cool demo for Super Smash Bros, Miitopia, Hey Pikmin, a Kirby and Yoshi game, and a lot more I haven't downloaded yet. So far I've only tried the Yoshi game and Super Smash Bros, but apparently you can only play each demo a certain amount of times, which kinda sucks, but they do give you plenty of playthroughs of the demo, about 30 for most games. Let me know what games for the system are fun, because I'm new to the 3DS family and have almost no clue what games to start with. I made a list of 6 games that look interesting and I'll probably pick up at some point, but if you have any that aren't on the list you see on screen, let me know what they are and why they're fun. So we've discussed the surprisingly impressive 3D feature and games available for the 3DS. I guess I should talk about the actual system now. Like I said earlier, I like the Switch more as a home console than a portable device, so the main reason I wanted the 3DS XL was to take a bunch of fun games on the go in an easier way. I'm really impressed with the portability so far, which is such a relief. The console actually fits well into my pocket, which is surprising but exactly what I was hoping for. Now when I'm done playing a game, instead of carefully putting it into its case like I do with the Switch, I just close it and toss it into my pocket instead of carrying around a heavy case. It's really nice, and I've already found a lot more practical everyday situations that I can use it in, which I couldn't easily do with the Switch. For example, when my niece and nephew are over, I usually don't like to bring my Switch outside with them, because if they stop playing and get into a fight or something, I don't feel comfortable quickly setting it down. I just bought the 3DS yesterday, and already I've used it in the same situation where the kids are over and I can quickly stop playing and safely set it on the table while I solve the problem. It's really nice, and exactly what I want the system to be like. Because the last DS I had was a DS Lite years ago, ago, this newest iteration is also impressing me in terms of hardware. Since I had gotten used to a DS with a small amount of battery life, having a new system with a longer lasting battery feels incredible. I used the system for hours yesterday and didn't need to charge, and I wasn't even on low power mode. I'm also happy with the size of the screens. The top screen is significantly bigger than my phone, so it didn't take much time to get used to. It's also pretty neat how responsive the touchscreen is when using the stylus. Again, it's been so long since I've had a DS, but I remember often having to repeatedly tap something to get it to do what I wanted. It's nice having a more responsive screen. There are also some really cool apps installed that I didn't expect to love as much as I did. There's this pretty stupid face shooting game where you take a picture of someone, then go against waves of them. It's something I didn't expect much from, but I've had hours of fun with so far. The AR in the game is actually pretty impressive, and it's more fun than I had hoped. There's also a 3D camera which takes pretty crazy 3D photos. Admittedly, the quality isn't much better than an old cell phone, but nonetheless, it's still cool to see some normal items stand out from the background. So far, the new Nintendo 3DS XL exceeds almost all of my expectations, and I'm really happy with it so far. I'm excited to get some new games for it, so let me know what ones you enjoy in the comments. A quick note at the end of the video, if it sounded like I was hating on the Switch, I'm not. I think it's a great console, and I will still spend more time playing on it than the 3DS. I just don't think the portability is as fun for me on the Switch as it is on the 3DS, so when I'm out and about, the 3DS will be my go-to system in 2017. Thanks for watching, and other than that, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.